Welcome, folks, to New News, where we bring you the latest events from around the globe. I'm Bob Barrington, and in this day and age, or the late 1700s for the uncultured among you, is an era full of change. One might even say it's revolutionary.
And I'm James Jameson, and we will begin our segment discussing several breakthroughs on the global stage. We take you first to some truly insignificant British colonies to talk to one of their leaders. Diane Darrington is on site. Take it away, Diane.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diane, and this is George Washington, General of the Continental Army. George, why don't you tell us what it is you have come here to accomplish?
Thank you for this great and prestigious honor of being on your program. The American Revolution is one of creating new order, despite the fact that very little change is actually occurring. We are trying to conserve the spirit of our current government by removing the tyrannical rulership of the British Crown. We also...
All right, that's enough. It's not like they're going to win anyways. Back to you.
Thank you, Diane. And now to Rose Rebeccaton with a slightly different figure of the Revolutionary era, Maximilien Robespierre.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rose Rebeccaton, and this is Robespierre. So, Mr. Robespierre, what can you tell us about your revolution?
My revolution is nothing like that of the Americans. We Frenchmen seek true independence from the tyranny of oppression. Our freedom will last until our grandchildren's grandchildren...
Yeah, I'm Napoleon. I don't like this whole democracy thing, so I'm in charge and behead that man.
Well, that was interesting. Let's move on to a more productive subject and begin talking about a different kind of revolution, an industrial one.
I'll take it away. Well, everyone, the Industrial Revolution began in Britain, but quickly spread around the world. Industrialization is the process by which primarily agricultural nations become centered around manufacturing and production.
Quite true, quite true. Industrialization did happen differently in different parts of the world, however.
Really? How so?
Well, I brought in an expert on the subject, Ian Ieli, to tell us a little bit more on the matter of industrialization.
Thank you, Bob and James. It is an honor to be here. As these two amazing anchors have said before, industrialization didn't occur the same in all places. No two countries better display this than America and Russia.
How on earth did America beat Britain again?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, anyway, in Russia, under the reign of an absolute monarch, industrialization was controlled entirely by the state. The government dictated the industrialization process and focused on producing steel and mining coal. On the other side of the map, however, the U.S. was taking a very different approach. The government was not involved in any way in the industrialization process, allowing individual businesses to drive the transition. One similarity between the two, though, is neither side the workers were very happy. Factories had horrible conditions and the workers had very little pay.
Well, that got dreary very quickly.
That's for sure, James. Thank you, Ian. Now our producers are waving us on to the next and final segment of our show, which will be about the second wave of European colonies.
Exactly, Bob. European countries began to colonize Africa and Asia due to the loss of their American colonies. Still not sure how Britain lost their colonies, but whatever.
So anyway, many European nations met in Berlin to discuss how they should divide up Africa. We can take you there, where Adam Armistice is on the scene. Can you tell us who all is at the Berlin conference, Adam?
Not Africa.
Well, there you have it, folks. Africa wasn't even invited to the meeting that split up its territory. How unfortunate.
You tell him, Bob. But in all seriousness, race was becoming a bigger factor in this new colonial age. Bigger than the racial discrimination of the Spanish in South America. No, this system defined people by their race to the extreme, even going so far as in South Africa, having the legal system impose laws against those of African origin.
Really? Even though back in Europe the Enlightenment was in full swing?
That's right. Social Darwinism became a growing problem, and it resulted in horrific actions against the peoples of Africa and Asia.
Another effect of European colonization in Africa was the formation of tribes. The Europeans grouped natives into organized groups, the likes of which had never been seen before in Africa, which only developed greater conflict.
Ultimately, the occupation of Africa resulted in the unification of Africans against the Europeans.
Lastly, we'll go to Derek Dinkelheimer to discuss the ongoing problems of colonization in Asia.
The Europeans are taking the agricultural land from the people of Asia and forcing them to grow cash crops instead of food. This development has led to widespread hunger across China and other parts of Asia. The famine and forced labor has led to poverty as well as lack of resources. Furthermore, deforestation was rampant across the countryside, redoubling the negative effects of colonization.
Hello everyone, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this adventure through modern history, 1750 to 1900, and thank you for watching.
From James Jameson and Bob Barrington, we'd like to thank you all so much for watching from New News. Hi, Mom.